Hey guys, how you doing? This is Robert Sells from Nashville, Tennessee. I wanted to come to you with another message the Lord placed on my heart today. And this one is actually coming from Job, the first chapter. Yes, the entire first chapter. But there's a message in this that I believe the Lord wants you to see. And I just think it's so powerful. In the first chapter of Job, we start out understanding what type of man Job was. He was a man who was blameless before God. And because of that, he was wealthy. He had thousands and thousands of sheep and oxen and, all kinds of animals. And so he had a lot. He had 7 sons and daughters. And, the interesting thing is at the beginning of this chapter that the devil went to God and had a conversation with the Lord and said, I would love to talk to Job. Okay. Now, of course, the Lord had a hedge of protection around him, and Satan was upset about that. He said, I can't touch him because you got a hedge of protection around him. So the Lord said that he will remove that, but you cannot kill him. So Satan went out and started eventually tempting Job with some horrible situations that happened. Now, here's an interesting thing that happened. Once he was released to do what he wanted to do, Job began to suffer, and he suffered through messengers that would bring him messages, and actually it was 4 in all that brought him messages, and each message was more tragic than the last one. Here's the thing though, as the first messenger was speaking, delivering bad news, the second messenger came up and interrupted. And then as the second was speaking, then the third one came up and interrupted. And then the fourth one interrupted the third one. You see, the interesting thing though in all of that, even though all of that was going on, this is what Job said. And this is the part I want you to get here. Here's what Job said. He said in the 20th verse of the first chapter, then Job arose, rent his mantle, and shaved his head, and fell down upon the ground and worshipped, and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And in all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. Family, oftentimes when things happen in our lives and, it seems like the worst is getting even more worse, right? Your things are happening constantly. And for some reason, you just can't seem to get above water. And all of these bad things are happening. And, sometimes they're really, really bad, like family members passing away. But what do? Many times we blame God. And, it's the Lord's fault. He didn't protect my people. And we, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get away from that. We can't just blame God because things are going wrong in our lives. We have to understand that things are going to go wrong because they're supposed to go wrong. Jesus talked about that. And in Matthew, I believe it was the 6th or 16th chapter and the 33rd verse. We have to expect these things to happen. Unfortunately, they're going to happen. But here's the good news from all of that. When Job worshiped God, his first response was worship, because he trusted God even during his downfall, even during the time when the worst things were going on in his life and he was losing his sons and daughters. And, even during that time of being plagued with sores and just a horrible thing that he went through, he praised God. He didn't doubt. But here's what ended up happening in the end. He ended up getting blessed beyond anything he could possibly imagine and beyond anything he had before. You see, when we withstand the trials, when we go through the trials that are sometimes just placed in front of us, many times it's just a test to see how faithful we're going to be to God during those times. See, the devil's going to test us because he wants to take us out of God's will. But when we are faithful and stand on the word of God and stand on the promises of God, we will see the blessings come multiplied in return. So remember, as life throws its many flaming arrows your way, When you're going through things and things don't seem to be going right and everything is crashing down around you, just stay faithful to God. Stay faithful to God, and He will bless you beyond measure. But that won't just bless you, it's going to bless everyone who you tell that testimony to. Because remember, your testimony is not for you, it's for other people who need to understand the power of God. There is no testimony without a test. God bless you all. Have a wonderful evening.